Dr. Swift, you have an update for us.
Thank you, Madam President and Trustees. We are moving forward during these weeks prior to winter break. As I'm in and out of schools, I see teachers and students making the most of every day of learning, and it's really inspiring right now. I wanted to mention that on November 30th, just last week, we held another one of our early release professional learning afternoons, and our AAPS team worked together, our teachers, support staff, leaders, and school teams, on a deeper dive into the study of students and forging deep understandings of their culture, values, and assets. Trustees, you've received a copy of the book that we're using this year with our teacher and school team development. It's the work of Cornelius Minor, the author of We've Got This, Equity, Access, and the Quest to Be Who Our Students Need Us to Be. The work is really about learning how to authentically listen to students and understanding that that's the closest thing to a superpower that we have as educators. This knowledge helps us in making intentional and meaningful connections in learning in ways that center belonging and dignity with high expectations, incorporation of student assets, and relevance in the real world. We've received a lot of feedback from the November early release equity implementation sessions last week, and it continues to be positive. Planning is now underway for the next professional development early release afternoon in January, and that next session coming up on January 31st. Just a reminder, the trustees are well aware, but we did share the AAPS Environmental Sustainability Framework last week on November 30th. That framework continues to be open. You can see here on our website where you can easily access it. Everyone in our parent group and all of our community members on our list received an email, but anyone can access it directly through our website. We're asking the public, the community, our parents, our students, and our staff to give feedback with the board. We're looking forward to sharing that feedback next week on December 14th, and then to bring the environmental sustainability framework forward to the board for a second briefing with a recommendation for approval on December 21st. Mr. Cluley and Mr. Lautzana have shared a message for principals to include in their school newsletters this week so that we're sure to get more and more folks, students, parents, and community and staff to remember to give us their valued feedback. We're also sharing a warm AAPS welcome this week to Marion Martyrs, who joins AAPS for a year of service as environmental sustainability researcher through the AmeriCorps Vista program. So I haven't met our team member yet, but I'm excited to begin the work. The community division and their strategic partnerships are continuing their long tradition to step up in our community once again to support our students and families during the winter season. So far this year, the AAPS Strategic Partnerships Office has distributed $16,000 in grants from the KLA Foundation to 16 schools for winter clothing, and they have collected $6,000 in gift cards to distribute to schools most in need. I think maybe Mr. Cluley will just remind us of where that is for folks. If you want to be a part, there's still time for everyone to participate in this important work. In partnership with Andy Thomas and the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation, and with additional grants from Comerica Bank and Wacker Chemical, AAPS will be distributing $11,000 in literacy grants to schools. The final awardees will be announced in December, and special visits to schools will occur in January. Always appreciate Andy Thomas and the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation for their support of our literacy efforts. I wanted to share about our before and after care. Trustees, one of our most recent strategies is that the law was adjusted so that we were able to hire some high school students. So I wanted to follow up and share that Ms. Baccalaureate and her team have successfully added 5 high school students to the aftercare team. They get excellent training in safety and all of the components that are required, and it makes a wonderful after-school job. So we'll give a shout out to any other high school students out there who might want to join as assistants in our extended care program. Plans are underway to reopen Angel. Before care, you all trustees recall that aftercare was open at the beginning of the school year or back in September, and we are now able to have enough staffing to add the morning session as well. We also have widened registration at Abbott, Lakewood, and Pittsfield for students who are able to get transportation from their homeschool building into one of those before or after care sites. We do have, trustees, some interest in that, and those programs have had seats open and available all year. So we want to make sure that we're using every seat that we've been able to staff. And again, we continue to work to have all of our buildings, elementary and K-8, with this opportunity. So we invite anyone in the community who's interested in working with our students to go to our website and please apply. We would love to add you to our before and after care team. Fall sports are wrapping up. Our Fall 2 session of practice and play indoor soccer is winding down this weekend with over 170 participants. Youth volleyball, 2nd and 3rd grade basketball, and flag football have 2 more weeks to go. We have had over 745 students participate in these programs this fall. So we very much appreciate that our students are out and being active and families are engaged in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. If you're interested in our winter session of classes and programs, we have those online at aarecedonline.com, and they go from babies through senior adults. I say from birth to forever. That's how ReckonEd programming goes in Ann Arbor. ReckonEd is also partnering with Chartwell's to offer 2 adult and 1 family cooking class in the winter season. So that sounds fun as well. ITD just completed their monthly phishing campaign. As a district, our data continues to trend downward in the number of staff clicking on phishing emails, which is exactly the behavior that we're working toward. And you can see, trustees, in the last 3 months, we've gone from 8.8% fish proneness down to 6.4%. So we want to keep driving that number down and everyone being very aware of the emails they may be clicking to open. As you know, trustees, we've been preparing to pilot a new bus tracking app system that will be a much better product than the one we had before. The piloting will begin on December 8th, so tomorrow, across 3 of our routes. And these folks on these routes will help us by doing this initial pilot through December 23rd. Families will be notified via email, and then after the use during these weeks, they will give us, we hope, a follow-up survey with feedback on the tool so that we can iron out all the wrinkles and then move to a system-wide implementation. The email also shares contact information for Liz Margolis, Laura Heyman, and Ashonda King from Durham, who will continue to support parents with any questions as they're learning how to download their app and see where their bus is in morning and afternoon. I've also included a transportation staffing update. Trustees, I want to give a shout out to Ms. Minnick and to Ms. Margolis and to our transportation leadership, our Durham team, because we are fully staffed, also with an additional 10 drivers to cover absences. So this is really good news. As you know, trustees, it changes day by day. So I'm pleased to share that there are 7 new drivers in various stages of training. We're always trying to stay 10, 15, 20 ahead to account for those who may leave or those who may be out from illness or for whatever family reason. School safety. We are also piloting with 4 schools the Raptor Alert emergency notification system, which is replacing the Crisis Go tool. You remember, trustees, this is the app on the phone that teachers and staff may use to complete the reunification process and safety drills directly from their phone, because a lot of times our classrooms and our teachers are on the move, and we want to make sure they have their support right there on the phone if that is ever needed. Trustees, you remember we were so inspired back during August during new teacher orientation to meet AAPS alumni. There were 8 of them in this group who joined AAPS as teachers this past fall. I got a great photo with them that Mr. Cluley was so nice to take. So in between Thanksgiving and winter break, we're doing some special podcasts. And so it was our delight yesterday to welcome 2 of those teachers, Wyland Kirkland, Pioneer Health and Fitness, and Emma Packard, Eberwhite, second grade, to our A2 Schools podcast. Our conversation explored their fascinating journeys from being AAPS students, they both graduated from Pioneer, to their decisions to choose teaching as a profession, and even as importantly, to choose to teach in their home community of Ann Arbor. They easily recalled the names of AAPS teachers, several still working in our district, who sparked their interest in pursuing their career in education. It was such an inspiring podcast. If you haven't had an opportunity yet to go to Apple Podcasts or whatever your favorite podcast provider is, and check out the A2 Schools podcast, I hope that you will. In addition, if you want to keep up with our activities, we post those on Facebook at Ann Arbor Public Schools, and then also on Twitter at A2 Schools and A2 Schools Super. And then our AAPS YouTube channel carries all of our productions and board meetings and presentations that can be accessed very easily there. Next Wednesday, a week from tonight, we will be celebrating and honoring Trustees Johnson, Kelly, and Lazarus. We have sent out that invitation today. It is also, here it is, it's also available on the website. Everyone is welcome on next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. There will also, the remarks will begin at 5:45 for that in-person reception. At 7 p.m., there will also be a special commentary time with remarks at the beginning of the board meeting, and those are accessible either in person or remote, as is best to meet folks' needs. We're grateful to the trustees for their dedicated service. I think collectively about 14 years of board meetings and board service, and we look forward to honoring them together alongside our Ann Arbor community next Wednesday. Now, we will convene our Board of Education meeting next week at the newly acquired property at 3700 Earhart Road in Domino's Farms. So I just want to kind of make a note of that. The trustees are aware we were able to close on that property just within the last 48 hours. So the team has been working to get internet going and all of the things that we need in order to hold a board meeting. We are grateful for the support of our AAPS community, the bond committee trustees, and the full board in supporting the work to acquire a property in the northeast sector of town. Folks, remember from our work during the campaign, the northeast sector is one of the parts of our town that has really critical long-term need for additional space for district use. So over the coming months, the building will undergo just a few minor modifications, and yet we're excited to serve many much-needed district and community outreach functions in this busy part of town. So the vision includes early on and Reckoned early childhood programming. That's programming for students 0 to 4 years of age, parenting and family classes, adult enrichment classes, perhaps a parent welcome center, dedicated professional development and training space, and space for community meetings and functions, including meetings like the one we're having this evening, as well as much needed northeast location office space on the second floor. So many thanks to our community for their support of the Ann Arbor Public Schools Bond and Capital Program and the ongoing renewal and addition of updated infrastructure and facilities. Trustees, you know we have a long way to go. This is a 20-year process, but we've had a good start, and having the building at Earhart will be one of several next steps that we'll be taking. We appreciate the opportunity for updated facilities to support our children, staff, and the Ann Arbor Public Schools community. As you'll hear a little bit later on our capital program presentation, average age of our facilities about 65 years. So infrastructure is a very important theme in order for our schools to be in good shape for the future. I thank you, trustees, and everyone for your partnership and support of our 17,000 plus beautiful students, our talented and committed school teams, and our 32 quality neighborhood schools that we are so fortunate to share in this Ann Arbor community. Thank you for the opportunity to share a superintendent's update.
Thank you, Dr. Swift.